Good night, everyone. It is April 29th. Welcome to Ronnie Boom Radio. Tonight, we have Lia and Clark Pitura. And, we are, especially here at Ronnie Boom Radio, we want to make sure that we highlight the extraordinary things that our people are doing out there, challenges that they're facing. And yeah, I just want to welcome everyone. Um, I just want to know, Clark family, how we doing?
Doing good. Thank you for having us.
So I just want to know before we dive in, what was the weekend like for you guys? Yeah, well, the Rangers won, right?
Pretty mellow. Yep. We got a good Rangers win.
Actually, I did go to a fundraiser on Sunday for Zack Attack for Relay for Life. And it was a bingo, pocketbook bingo. So that was to raise money for the Teen Zack Attack Relay for Life. So that was good. That was fun.
And I went fishing.
Just a little plug there for the
Oh,
whole
so
thing.
hey, so there was some events on the weekend. You guys had a good time, and I'm glad to hear that. Um, so Clark, if you don't mind, could you just tell me about your background, where you were raised, school, and what kind of work you do?
So I grew up in Golden's Bridge, in the Golden's Bridge Katona border, and went to John Jay High School, and then attended St. Thomas Aquinas College over in Rockland, and got a degree in criminal justice. And I went into the Department of Environmental Protection Police, and in my 24th year there,
Um,
and it's something I always wanted to do, and it's I'm a police detective.
yeah, and I'm
So
sure your career so far has been a rewarding experience, right?
it has. I've been fortunate enough to see all sides and get to do a lot of things. So
And
definitely
just for our viewers out there, we want to champion Clark right now for being such a warrior because he is coming from treatment today, and we're going to get into that a little bit more. So he's a little bit worn down, and that's just a side effect of the treatment. And before we dive into that a little bit more, Clark and Leah, talk to me about as far as you know do you think like the Brewster or Putnam community is a great community to raise your kids?
I do. I do. What I found is that the Brewster community really rallies around someone who is in need. Um, I've seen it both sides. I've been on both sides. I've been on the giving end of it and I've been on the receiving end of it. And it's amazing to see how, without even having the individual having to ask for help, how the Brewster community comes together and will show up, that, whether you're part of a religious organization or just part of Brewster. I think it's in that respect, it's a great community to live in and to bring children in.
Absolutely. And I would say, I want to also thank you, Leah, for your services of being a mama bear um, for our Bristol football team a few years ago. You were awesome, along with the other mama bears prior to you, and have been there in the position. I want to thank you because as a coach, you definitely you always was like, Ron, what do you need? What's going on? What do you need me to help you to do? And also, I really tried to get you on the sidelines after Coach Niles lost the bet. So,
Because I won the bet. I
yeah.
won the bet. He still owes me.
Oh, he does. He owes a lot of people. Don't worry about that. He owes a lot of people. um, but I really appreciate that. And just to add to that, Leah and Clark, I've seen the Brewster community or the Putnam community, period. When it comes on, especially to sports, how people rally and show up to things, even if it's an hour and 15 minutes away, they travel well, they
Yeah.
come, and that shocked me. I got to be honest with you.
Well, it's very true, being that we spent so many years on the sidelines with sports. it was always amazing. And you would hear other towns and other schools say, I can't even believe how many Brewster parents and families come, at our own home games and away games. Every time we had an away game, our bleachers were filled, absolutely filled. And I think, that's something to be said about our community.
So, not to,
And if
take,
I was the coach, I mean,
oh,
ooh,
forget it. We'll be selling Super Bowl tickets. What are we
li-
talking about?
listen,
So, I know, as I don't want to keep you guys too long, but I want to delve into the reason why we've come together today, and it's to discuss end stage renal failure, otherwise known as kidney disease, that is plaguing everyone around the world, and it's touching a lot of people. And I find that it's a unique community to be in because not a lot of people understand kidney disease. And I just want to find out from you, Leah, what has your experience been like thus far?
well, I can tell you that I think we were, number one, we were blindsided. Number two, we really didn't have a good understanding of what it all entailed. You hear about people being on dialysis, you hear about people needing an organ transplant, but until you're in it, you it's an experience like no other. Um, when Clark was first diagnosed, just to give you the backstory, he contracted COVID in January of 2021, while he was working as a police detective and was hospitalized in very serious condition and almost did not make it out of the hospital.
Amen.
He was fortunate enough to fight hard and have some really amazing doctors and nurses and staff looking after him. So he did come home. He spent 6+ months with pulmonary rehab, trying to just strengthen him. He came home with oxygen. And that's what ultimately put him in kidney failure. His kidneys had taken a hit from the COVID and then from the medications that they were using to treat the COVID.
Right.
So we learned that he got the diagnosis of kidney failure in March of 2022, March, April. And that's when we were told that he would most likely need a kidney transplant sooner rather than later.
Mhm.
And then he was listed on the kidney transplant list May of 2022. So he's been on the list for 2 years. And then over the course of the time became
Yeah.
very sick to the point where he was having trouble. He was tired, no energy.
Yeah.
He would get sick in the mornings because his body was trying to rid the toxins because the
Toxins.
toxins were just building up in his body. So he would get sick in the mornings. He had foggy brain. He would be confused, had memory issues,
Put on a lot of weight.
put on a lot of weight because he was retaining a lot of fluid that his kidneys just couldn't get rid of.
Mhm.
And then just regular activities of daily life. He was struggling. He was struggling with that. He had to take a medical leave of absence from work. And even trying to go up and down the stairs was difficult. He couldn't walk the dog anymore. He couldn't go out and get the mail. Um, and that was really hard. It was really hard to see his decline. And, we when you get the diagnosis, you're just told, this is what's going on in your body. you're going to eventually need a kidney transplant and you need to find yourself a donor.
Right.
And nobody hands you a handbook to say, here you go. This is going to help you. You have to, you feel very alone and scared because this is life threatening, and we were trying really hard to change his diet, try different medicines to try and keep him off dialysis as long as we possibly could. And it got to the point where he got so sick that he had to be hospitalized to start the dialysis.
Yep.
And your whole life changes
Yeah.
because then it becomes your life becomes dialysis. His life becomes dialysis. My life becomes dialysis. Our
r-
son's life becomes dialysis. So you have to work around the 3 times a week for 3.5, 4 hours where he sits in the chair. So it's no more like, oh, let's go to the football game and then let's go out to dinner.
Right.
You miss events, you miss time spending with friends, family. So it's
A
definitely
lot changes.
a lot
That
changes.
changes. Yeah. So Clark, if you don't mind me asking, now that you're living with kidney dialysis, um, what has been your routine for the most part?
Uh, It's um it's really trying to get it through your head that your new priority is on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday
Mhm.
every week for the unforeseen future.
Yeah.
And you have to make an effort to get there and to do it,
Right.
and get it done. And that's really the only thing that kind of keeps you going.
Yeah.
And it's definitely an eye-opening lifestyle change, put it that way.
You know, walk me through, Clark, what your first time going to a dialysis clinic was like.
I really just kind of shook my head and I couldn't believe that this was actually happening.
Yeah.
And it was happening to me. And I was almost in disbelief of, and the doctors tell you things you need to do or not do. And it's tough. It's hard
Yeah.
to lay there in bed and you feel terrible,
Yeah.
you know. And I refer to the dialysis process as getting my oil changed.
Yeah.
So that's what I call it.
Yeah.
Uh, and essentially it really is that,
Yeah.
and it was tough to stomach. It really was. It was hard. And and the doctor did say in time you are going to feel better
Yes.
and basically start to feel normal,
Yeah.
and I was nowhere near what I thought was normal for myself. And sure enough, he was correct because in time I started to feel a lot better and I got healthier as a result of the process.
Yes.
And now I'm able to do a lot of things that I couldn't do a year ago.
Correct.
Like what my wife said, stairs, get the mail, carry the groceries out of the store back to the car. Things you take for granted, I
Yeah.
was struggling with. And thank God, now I'm able to complete all those tasks and I'm kind of right back in the game.
Yeah. I want to tell you, Clark, I know right now, you probably you just finished your dialysis session at what time today?
A little after 7.
After 7, right? So, you're probably a little, at some point, it's starting to feel the effects right now, a little bit of the energy loss, right?
Yep.
I'm sure more fatigue a little bit. So, I want to thank you for coming on with your beautiful wife and trying to champion and champion through this, try to really push through this. Um, right now, who would you say has been like some of your biggest support that you've had?
Well, I mean, I gotta say that, the job has been fantastic. The whole department has been thumbs up. Um, yeah, I really the help that I've received from the men and women with getting rides and helping me do things, and guys actually came to the house and they put up my Christmas tree lights on the house
Mhm.
for me when I couldn't do it, and it's tough to sit there and watch, these things happen basically, right before your eyes. And you say to yourself, I used to do this all by myself in a couple hours. And now, four guys took time out of their lives and came to my house and, helped me get that accomplished for the holiday season, which was really super nice. And, it definitely brings a tear to your eye. Um, the assistance that I've gotten, I gotta say, from the city of New York and
And and
my
also
employers.
and also just our friends, our family, people in the community. We've had people in the wintertime. They knew that I was alone with Clark, and whenever it snowed, they would come over, they would shovel, they would plow, they would stack wood.
Wow.
Um, have friends that, uh, will make meals that Clark can eat because he's on a special diet, but they'll actually take the time to make a meal so that he can eat. We have friends that have taken him to appointments, taken him to dialysis, and it's just amazing. We could never do this alone, and we don't do this alone. And I am forever grateful for the support that we've gotten, and we're very, very fortunate. And I would love to name the names, but there's thankfully so many that I can't. And I hope everybody knows how much we appreciate it, because it's very hard to ask for help,
Yeah.
especially when you were before this functioning family and you were able to do everything, and then suddenly now, with his not being strong and being able to do things, it all kind of fell on myself and my son, and until my son went off to college. And then I was like, "Oh my God, I gotta do all this now."
Right, right, right.
It's amazing
He's
how.
done a fantastic job, I gotta say.
Thank you. And yeah, so it's I can't ever repay these people enough for. And even just, text messages, phone calls, just checking in, saying, "Hey, what can we do?" It feels so good to know that we have all these people fighting for us and rallying around us, and it really helps. And there are days where, you know you have a bad day, and you get tired and you're exhausted, and you think, you know, I don't know if I could do another day of this. And then somebody will send a text. I'll get a text message from somebody, and it'll make all the difference. And to me, it's okay. It's go time. I got it. I got this. I'm going to keep going and plugging through, because on top of, trying to keep him as healthy as he can be, and concerned about his diet and everything, and checking medications. Medications change
Right.
weekly, you know, and so you have to keep up on the medications, like what time are we supposed to take this, and how many pills of that, and so that's also a challenge. And on top of it all, we're also trying to get the word out to find a kidney donor, and that's also like a full-time job.
Right.
So, sometimes I with that, I try and do a really good job, and like I said, I have days where I don't know if I have any more steam in me, and somebody will just send me something or a call or a post and it'll just give me that fight that I need back
Yeah.
to keep on going.
Give you that boost. Yeah.
Mhm.
So to be clear, Clark is currently in end stage 5 renal kidney failure, folks. And another big component of this is the interaction that he has with his nephrologist. And I want to find out how's that been, Clark?
He's an amazing individual. Um, Definitely in my corner, to say the least, and super intelligent man. And he's really helped me get through this just with some of the simple conversations.
Yeah.
I'll have a question or something will change or and we'll discuss these things, and it's an open dialogue, and make little changes here and there, and it's all geared toward uh getting me to feel better.
Yes.
I could never thank him enough for all his effort.
Yeah. Well, I just want to, just to slip in there that when it came onto the dialysis clinic, when I also was being treated for end stage kidney disease, I never asked, um, I never wanted my family members to come into the clinic because I didn't want them to see, you know, what it was really like, you know, especially with the tubes and the blood,
Right.
running everywhere. And um, I don't know, I just didn't want them to see that. Matter of fact, let alone have them even transport me, right? I did the best I could at times to drive myself there, right? And I think there might have been one or two times where like I had to just say, listen, I can't do it. I just have to have somebody else come grab me. But I just want to let you know, Clark, I understand. I know what you're feeling. Um, I know at times it seems like you feel like you're in a state of peril where you just don't know what's going to happen next. Where is the guiding light going to come from? But I'm going to let you know it's going to come, and there are people out there that's going to be here, be there for you, be there for Leah, and things are going to be all right. And we're heading. You're in the right direction because your spirits are still up, right? Don't ever think that, you're going to be unable to do something. There's always a workaround somewhere.
Yep.
Um, and so with that, you know, uh, I appreciate you, Leah, AKA Mama Bear, um, that, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. And Clark, just like I said, just hang in there. Uh,
Well, thank you.
so, Leah, talk to me about some of the proactive things that you have been doing that you mentioned and what you have coming up soon.
So a lot of what I've been doing is social media. So through social media, trying to get the word out. And I decided to hold an event, which is going to be this Saturday at Spins Bowl in Carmel, New York. Um, and we are very fortunate that Spins Bowl and O'Dean's Barbecue Restaurant, they're attached, have been very gracious to allow to host our event.
Yes.
It is just an event to spread awareness for looking for a kidney donor for Clark, but not just Clark, but for the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are looking for a kidney donor, living donor. So the event is 3 to 7 on Saturday. Also, what we've done is on the idea of one of my friends had suggested making up shirts with Clark's donor information on it. So yeah, I have Clark's QR code, and we'll be selling those shirts at the event, and a whole bunch of us will be wearing them at the event. So it's really just, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We have bowling, we have a country band that's going to play, and the name of the event is Kidney for Clarks. Who's got a spare?
All right. All right. And I really enjoy that. I really like that. That's very creative. Um, by the way, did you save me a shirt?
I have a shirt for you.
Awesome, 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 awesome. I get everything over to you. Um, so yeah, I think that's a very unique shirt. Once in a lifetime. And I hope that the community rallies around and shows up at this event. It is at the
Yes.
Carmel Spins Bowling Alley. And so everyone, listen, this is a great um traditional American family that we would love for you all to show up, show your support, whatever you can do to help. It will be great, to say the least. Um, I think right now, is there anybody particular that you'd like to recognize for the support they've shown so far?
Everybody.
Yes.
Everybody, gotcha.
The
Got
list the list is long. Like we said, his his department has been absolutely amazing. Um, Clark happened to be in the hospital for Thanksgiving. They
Mhm.
made an amazing Thanksgiving meal, so Clark, Dylan, and I could spend the day together. Um, our friends, our family, and even just acquaintances,
Right.
people that have seen a post and shared our post. The best thing that anybody can do to help is to share our story, share his story, have conversations, spread the word, because you never know, one of those conversations could be the conversation that's going to
Right.
change his life and save his life. So, I think every single person who has shared our story, has shared a Facebook post, an Instagram post. Um, so it just about everybody.
Everybody, yes, you did a great job. And one last time, could you send me the details? Just say the details one more time. As far as anybody who sees it, podcast, um, will be able to contact who they should be contacting and how.
So there is a link. We are connected with Mount Sinai, and the link is mountsinai.livingdonation.org. And what that link will bring the person into is a questionnaire, and the questionnaire is just to start to ask questions to see if they would be a candidate to be a donor.
So everybody, you got that? All right. If you don't have a spare, and just so everyone knows, right? Just to clean that up, um, you can live with one kidney. Okay, you can live with one kidney, and what happens is, further down the line, if you were supposed to have any complications, you would go on the top of the list, and you'll be prioritized because of your donation that you gave. So I just kind of want to make sure we put that out there that people know, oh no, well, what if something happens to me? No, you'll be taken care of also, because you'll be prioritized on top of the list. Um, and also there's a kidney matching program that is done, right? So for instance, if you want to give a kidney to Clark, but you are not a match for Clark, okay, but there's somebody else who's given a kidney donation and they're not a match for the other person, but you are a match for that person, you can do a kidney swap, right? That program works. And it works quite a bit, especially in the kidney community. So, and just want to let you know that anybody who has any fears, that really there aren't any. Okay. Um, with that said, um, I just want to thank everyone who tuned in to Ronnie Boone Radio. And we are here to support and highlight people who are working towards overcoming extraordinary circumstances. And Clark, once again, continue to stay strong, my brother.
Thank you.
And Leah, you also continue to stay strong because in some ways you're also um, going through this with Clark, and you are the backbone that's keeping him upwards. So I really
Yes.
appreciate you. Listen, you guys enjoy the rest of the week. And I know that the community of Putnam County and Brewster and Carmel will show up for Clark. Okay?
Will be fun time.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for having us.
You got it. And you guys have a great night.